Hello, my name is Rory, and if you watch Cbeebies, you might recognise me from there, or you might not, because in Cbeebies I've got a little bit more hair and a little bit less beard, but here we are. Lockdown's brought me to this situation. But normally I work for the RSPB, and my job at the RSPB is to help look after some birds called albatrosses. But what is an albatross? You may not have ever seen one. In fact, lots of people have never seen one. Are they actually real birds even? You've never seen one in the UK. Is it real? How do you know it's real if you've not seen it? Well, albatrosses are real, I promise you. And in fact, there's not just one kind of albatross. There are 22 different species, from the beautiful black-footed albatross up in the North Pacific to the wandering albatross, this bird here. Now, it's not this size in real life, it's much, much bigger. In fact, the wingspan of a wandering albatross is 2 of me, pretty much. A little bit less than that. It's about 3.7 meters. That is very, very big. In fact, the biggest of any bird in the world. They are huge. Now, albatross aren't just any kind of bird. They are seabirds, which is my favourite birds. They spend most of their time soaring over the oceans looking for tasty things to eat. And for an albatross, that's generally something like squid, or maybe a wee dead fish bobbing around on the water's surface. Some of them even eat wee things like krill as well. It's a kind of plankton. So where can we find albatrosses in the world? Well, we don't very often see them here in the UK, and if they do end up here, it's kind of by accident. Where we normally find albatrosses is down at the bottom of the world. I've got my little globe here. Here's Africa, Asia, here's Australia down here. Here's South America, North America, and where I am in Scotland is just up here. But albatrosses are mainly found down here in the southern oceans around Antarctica, the big white bit at the bottom of Earth. There are a few albatrosses found in the North Pacific as well, but most of them are found around the southern oceans. And why is that? Well, those giant wings that I was talking about on a wandering albatross, they are great at soaring, but they need big winds to allow them to zoom around. And the best winds in the world by far are down in the southern oceans. That's the perfect place for them to get enough wind to stay up in the air with hardly a flap of the wings. Now, they might be very good at soaring, but when you've got wings that big and you're such a big bird and you're that heavy, it takes a lot of effort to take off. Yes, this is my impression of it. You ready to see it? Here we go. Yes, they are very clumsy when they take off. However, albatross are amazing birds. As I've already said, they've got the biggest wingspan of any bird in the world. But there's other remarkable things about them. So albatross live for a very, very long time. And in fact, the oldest bird in the world is an albatross, a Laysan albatross called Wisdom, and she lives on Midway Island in the Pacific. Can you guess how old she is? She is 69 years old and still breeding. That's absolutely amazing. And in that lifetime, albatross could have many chicks, but they only have one chick a year or one chick every second year. So it takes them a long time to breed. They can be 10 or even 15 years old before they have their first chick, but they do live for a long time too. And albatross can do amazing things with flight. I've already talked about them soaring over the oceans. Well, one of the most remarkable stories, I think, comes from a grey-headed albatross. They're really beautiful birds, lovely grey head, lovely reddy yellow beak they've got as well. And a grey-headed albatross was recorded flying right around the world, circumnavigating the globe, as they say, right around Antarctica around here, in 46 days. Round the world in 46 days under their own steam. I'd be lucky to walk from Glasgow to London in 46 days under my own steam, never mind right around the world. Albatross are truly amazing birds. So I hope you have enjoyed this little chat about albatross, and go and try and find out a bit more about them, especially the Albatross Task Force, who is who I work with, and they work to protect albatrosses on fishing boats. So go and find out a bit more about the Albatross Task Force too. Bye from me, bye from my little globe, and bye from the Albatross too. See you later.